Live from the Talking Joe Studios. It's Talking Joe.
Talking Joe is on the air.
Hey, it's me, Mark, and welcome to Talking Joe, the G.I. Joe Comics podcast. Now, today we are telling you everything you need to know all about the character Dawn, who was recently unveiled by none other than Larry Hama and BMac from Hasbro at their Midtown Comics signing, unveiling the classified figure. There's Larry Hama with his creation in plastic form, looking very happy. So she's been revealed in classified, but she's been around a long time. So this episode is here to tell you the lowdown all about the character Dawn, aka Dawn Moreno, aka Snake Eyes 3. Now, recently unveiled on by Hasbro on their social media was a file card, a digital file card, talking all about Dawn. And so it contained a lot of details, calling on a lot of the detail from the comics. But just how comprehensive is this file card, and how much did it draw on the comics? Spoiler, quite a lot, actually. Let's have a quick read of the blurb from the file card. So Dawn, aka Dawn Moreno, aka Snake Eyes, primary military specialty, covert operations, ninjutsu, secondary specialty, infantry, birthplace, Springfield, USA. So they say Springfield High School student Dawn Moreno caught the attention of Cobra Commander after successfully beating the entire lacrosse team by herself. Quickly proving herself invaluable, he made her his apprentice. Under the tutelage of the Baroness, Dawn was strapped into the brainwave scanner and mistakenly implanted with the stored memories of Snake Eyes. A highly conditioned and athletic teenager now possessed the knowledge of an Arashikage ninja and seasoned combat veteran. Confused by the flurry of new memories, she sought the legendary Onihashi sword, Morning Light, in New York, and ultimately found guidance from Storm Shadow and his aunt, Obaki Obasan, who completed her ninja training in Tokyo. Eventually, she learned to achieve peace between her own psyche and that of Snake Eyes, embracing her new calling as a member of the Joe team. Rescued as a teen from a bleak life in Cobra, honed into a ninja master, inherited Snake Eyes memories via brainwave scanner, stealthy, speedy, deadly, you'd better believe Dawn is a Joe. So calling a lot on the details of the comics, possibly oversimplifying in places. I'm not sure about the aspect of achieving peace between her own psyche and also rescued as a teen as well, because she wasn't necessarily rescued by the Joes or the ninjas. She somewhat rescued herself, but we'll get into that. So to do that, we kind of have to rewind a little bit. So just as Snake Eyes' story is foundational to the original Marvel's run, the Dawn story is a key plot that runs through the IDW of G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero. Dawn Moreno, aka Snake Eyes 3, is a character who was introduced by writer Larry Hama in the pages of G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero comics from IDW, and he continues to write for the character today in the Real American Hero continuity comics from Skybound. Issue 325 was just released at the time of recording, and I'll actually call out at this point as well that Dawn is only actually very rarely referred to as Snake Eyes, and much more common, she is just called Dawn. And after all, Cobra do know her real name, so she doesn't necessarily need a code name. And Dawn's a pretty good code name, I think. Anyway, so let's set the scene. G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero originally came out from Marvel Comics in 1982, and it ran for 155 issues plus, side series and stuff before it was cancelled in 1994. Other G.I. Joe comics came and went, but this continuity was not picked up until 16 years later in 2010. by new publisher IDW, who relaunched the A Real American Hero continuity with the same writer, Larry Hama, and the same numbering, continuing where they left off with 155, with a new issue released for Free Comic Book Day, issue 155 and a half, which then continued through 156, 157 until issue 300, where Skybound also picked up the same continuity and numbering with issue 301 and continuing through to today. So after that launch in 155.5, we get to issue 212, and that launches the storyline, The Death of Snake Eyes. And in this story, the character Snake Eyes, wait for it, he dies. So the storyline does give that away a little bit. Fearing for what would happen if Cobra learned that Snake Eyes was dead for some reason, immediately afterwards, they replace him with another mute Arashikage ninja who has severe burns. And this guy is named Sean Collins. He steps in to take on the mantle of Snake Eyes. And just to add some confusion, he normally then goes by the code name of Throwdown, at least in theory when Cobra is not in earshot. Now, a little later, in issue 226 in 2016, we are introduced to Dawn Moreno. She is a high schooler at Springfield High School. She impresses Cobra Commander at the lacrosse team tryouts. That bit on the file card was real. And following that impressive lacrosse tryout, she is made Cobra Commander's bodyguard. Believe it or not, this is how Cobra Commander recruits his closest and most loyal subjects. Now, immediately after being recruited as Cobra Commander's bodyguard, Dawn protects Cobra Commander from an attack by Destro, Zartan, and the Baroness. And in doing so, impresses everyone so much that it sort of, calls a halt to the situation, and Zorana and Baroness are blown away, and they personally train Dawn. That's in issue 228. And then in issue 229, here we go, on the screen is one of the training sequences. In issue 229, Dawn is taken to the Cobra Brainwave Center for Cobra indoctrination by Dr. Mindbender's programming. Zorana and Baroness are not down with the idea of her being brainwashed, and they mess with the programming that Dr. Mindbender has set up, but they accidentally download Snake Eyes' memories into Dawn, turning her literally into a female Snake Eyes. Now, Snake Eyes' memories mess with Dawn's mind. She can recall events from Snake Eyes' past, and sometimes Snake Eyes' personality even takes over in quite an aggressive way. She steals an Arashikage sword, but in doing so, she meets Storm Shadow, who introduces her to his aunt, Obake Obisan, aka Granny Demon, who takes her under his wing. Takes her under her wing, initially training her at her shop in New York, but then as a Arashikage in Japan. And finally, in issue 244, she is handed some super cool Snake Eyes style outfits or fighting togs, and these are designed in real life by Larry Hama himself, and then refined. Here we go. Here's the Larry Hama design, which features as a variant cover for issue 246. And Nitho Diaz took those designs and played with them to slightly modify them, give her some different straps and so on. He also played with the idea that maybe she might have a Cobra sigil on those designs as well. So later on, the Arashikage attack the amusement park. And this is in issue 244. It's the start. It leads up to an arc drawn by a new artist, Nitho Diaz, the dawn of the Arashi Kage, which runs 246 to 250. And this pits Dawn against Firefly, ultimately. They face each other again in the mini-series Silent Option. In the Silent Option mini-series, Helix is introduced into the G.I. Joe team. It's actually in the dossier page, the character introduction page that's in the front of the Silent Option book, is one of the few places where we actually see Dawn Moreno described as having the code name Snake Eyes. It doesn't actually appear too many other places. Dawn is told that she can't actually join the G.I. Joe team until she has had proper training. So she attends Ranger training, and this is shown in the short story Dawn Patrol in issue 255. And she returns to join the G.I. Joe team in G.I. Joe 2019 yearbook. And from this point onwards, she is firmly part of the G.I. Joe Ninja team, and also joined by honorary member Helix as part of that squad. Dawn and Helix reunite in the Spotlight issue 289 against a revanche Casino Bot. Now, Snake Eyes' memories continue to give Dawn emotional turmoil, plus, true fact, some funny feelings in her tummy about Scarlet as well. And there are several occasions where it looks like she might encounter the brainwave scanner in attempt to resolve those memories. One of them is Snake Eye on Snake Hunt. The next is Cobra Island in the All In arc. But those issues with Snake Eye's personalities being in Dawn's head are never really ultimately resolved. But instead pushed slightly to the side in favor of other storylines. Instead, the IDW era concludes with the return of the clone of the original Snake Eyes with restored memories. And the end of issue 300 from IDW leaves us with 3 living Snake Eyes on top of the original dead Snake Eyes. So Snake Eyes 2, Throwdown, Sean Collins, a mute ninja with burns, but none of Snake Eyes' memories. Snake Eyes 3, Dawn, a girl with athletic and combat skill of her own, plus ranger training and ninja training, augmented by the original Snake Eyes' memories. And Snake Eyes 4, a clone of the original Snake Eyes, with the original Snake Eyes' memories, but with no burns, and also now able to talk. And that is the Snake Eyes that we see in pages of A Real American Hero in the continuing adventures from Skybound, where we also see Dawn, who continues to play a central plot to the Skybound continuity. So let's have a look at those 3 Snake Eyes in a special Snake Eyes Venn diagram. You've got Snake Eyes, the clone on the top, Dawn Moreno, Sean Collins, and some of the characteristics of the original Snake Eyes in the middle. So Snake Eyes, the clone, he has a Timberwolf, he has Scarlet as his girlfriend, he's got the original Snake Eyes memories and as such, those skills, but he doesn't actually have any ninja training. He hasn't done any ninja training. He's just remembering them from those being implanted in his brain. That's Dawn Moreno. She's got her own natural athletic ability. Remember, those lacrosse skills are that impressed enough to make Cobra Commander give her the role as his bodyguard. But she's also got now ranger skills from training there, ninja training from Granny Demon, plus the Snake Eyes memories, plus boobs, and plus lacrosse skills. Sean Collins, on the other hand, he's got ninja training. He's mute. He's got burns. But he doesn't have any of the original Snake Eyes' memories. And we've not actually seen Sean Collins, a.k.a. Throwdown, a.k.a. Snake Eyes, appear in the pages of the Skybound, A Real American Hero, for a number of issues. So Presumably he will appear back at some point, but he hasn't for a while. Also, let's not forget the wolf. The original Snake Eyes had Timber the wolf, and the clone also has a Timber wolf. He has also got Scarlet is his girlfriend, whereas before the return of the clone Snake Eyes, Dawn Moreno had some funny feelings towards Scarlet because of her memories from Snake Eyes. And Scarlet had some funny feelings towards Sean Collins because of the fact that he was a spitting image of the original Snake Eyes. So, as well as this being an interesting Venn diagram, it also plots the Scarlet love triangle, although that seems to have been resolved with the original Snake Eyes coming back. Anyway, so Dawn continues to play a central part of the team with a number of feature issues, such as the one on the screen at the moment, 304, where she's on the cover, and 321, the recent silent issue. And there's also some interesting subplots around her family who remained back in Springfield as part of Cobra. So I won't spoil that here, but lots of interesting appearances from Dawn in the Skybound issues that have come out from Skybound in the last few issues. So, despite being around for 10 years and being such a central part of the story, the classified toy is one of the few appearances outside of comics. Most noticeably, it was a cheesecake statue of Dawn. Let's find that one. Which was Bushido's statue, which has then been used lots of times as reference by artists for their covers. So if you enjoyed this, you can go and have a look at another of my videos where I recap A Real American Hero 155 through to 300. Check that one out. And also, I'll point out that now, if you missed that original era from IDW covering 155 through to issue 300, those have been previously quite hard to come by because the print one was relatively low, and so they were difficult to find and also a little bit expensive. But Skybound have now announced that they will be running a new Kickstarter, which will reprint for the first time a complete set of IDW, A Real American Hero issues running from 155.5 through to 300, plus all of the yearbooks and extra issues. So one place for hardcover editions covering that era, and that Kickstarter will be going live very soon. Head on over to Skybound's Kickstarter page to find out all of the details there. And funny enough, as part of one of the incentives for that, they will be giving away a reprint issue of Real American Hero 244, featuring a new cover by Chris Mooneyham. So it all comes back to Dawn. So there we go. I hope you enjoyed that little explainer all about Dawn. If you want to find out more about the history of G.I. Joe and a guide to some of those issues, head on over to another one of our videos to find out more. Or if you just want to read along and find out about the issues as they come out, or hear some of our interviews with some of the creators that make them, do pay attention to the videos from Talking Joe as they are released. But that is it from us for now. I'll just point out we can be found at talkingjoe.uk. We can be found at talkingjoe.co.uk. That is the website with all of the places that we can be found: Facebook, YouTube, podcast platforms, etc. It also points you to our Patreon site, patreon.com/talkingjoe. So big thanks to Richard, Sam, Shane, Simon, Chris, Joe, Craig, D, Shane V2, Infinite Entertainment, Patrick, Gary V, Coldroff, and B, who are all getting early access to our episodes, as well as some exclusive content. So that is it from me for now. Until next time, just remember that nobody beats Talking Joe, an international podcast. Laters.